Can you believe it's been 3 years since I reviewed the JBL Go4? And if you guys have one of these, you might remember this. Look at it go. Well, I'm glad to say that JBL did fix that problem with the new JBL Go4, and they added a bunch of other improvements here. So what are those improvements? Let's talk about that. But first, let's take a look at the box the JBL Go4 comes in. Product shot on the front, just some information right there on the back. Also comes with a USB Type A to Type C charging cable. Also comes with a quick start guide right here and some warranty information. But let's put all this off to the side. And I'll give you guys a nice close-up of the brand new JBL Go4 right here. And while you guys are checking this out, let's talk about some of the features. So the JBL Go4 comes in a bunch of different colors. I went with the blue color, as you can see right here. It now has a 7-hour playtime with JBL's Play Boost, and that's an improvement over the Go3's 5-hour playtime. And it has a built-in battery that is charged with the USB Type-C charging port right on the outside. It takes about 3 hours to fully charge the Go4's battery, as opposed to 2.5 hours for the Go3. And one major improvement with the Go4 is it now works with the JBL Portable app. And it also has Auracast, so you can pair up to 2 Go4s together to work in stereo, or up to 100 other JBL speakers as long as it has Auracast. It has a frequency response of 90 Hz to 20 kHz, which is different than the Go3's 110 Hz to 20 kHz. But the Go4 has the exact same output power as the Go3 with 4.2 watts RMS. And it has the exact same dust and waterproof rating as the Go3. It's IP67. The 6 means it's completely dustproof, and the 7 means it's submersible in up to 3 feet of water for up to a half an hour. And another improvement over the Go3 is it now supports Bluetooth 5.3 as opposed to Bluetooth 5.1. And my first impressions of the JBL Go4 is how much it looks and felt like the previous JBL Go3. You can see it's basically the exact same size, almost the exact same weight, but there are a few differences here. This is the Go3, this is the Go4, and first off, you can see it still has that obnoxious large JBL branding right on the front. But the JBL Go4 now has a nice orange outline, so I'm saying that if you absolutely must have this giant obnoxious JBL branding on the front, at least make it look nice, and I think they accomplished that. You can see the JBL Go3 doesn't have any outline, and honestly, I never really noticed it, but it's kind of plain and boring. But honestly, who cares about the branding? If it was up to me, I wouldn't have this on the speaker at all. And you can see with the Go4, I went with the exact same blue color as I went with on the Go3. And if I get in real close with the Go4, you can see it has that same durable fabric mesh as we saw on the Go3. And it still surrounds the Go4, but you can see as I circle this around, there are a few differences with the aesthetics here. In fact, I'm going to put the Go3 right on top of the Go4 and start doing a comparison here. So if I start at the top, you can see it has the exact same button layout on both speakers. Except on the Go4, those buttons are now integrated within this silicone piece that now wraps around one of the corners, as opposed to the Go3 where it's almost like these are glued on to the fabric mesh. And now let's go to the bottom, and you can see these rubberized feet are no longer glued on with the Go4. Just like the buttons on the top, they're more integrated within another silicone piece that wraps around the corner. Now I like this change a lot because I have seen some speakers with these little rubberized feet peeling off. So that's not going to happen here with the new Go4. And I think that's a big improvement. Now let's talk about some of the changes that they made here. So if I take the speaker and just rotate it to the right, you're going to see that they basically flip-flop the controls from the JBL Go3 to the Go4. On the Go3, you can see the power button, the status light indicator, the Bluetooth button, and the Go3 logo is on the right side. But on the Go4, on the right side, it's just the logo with the USB Type-C charging port. And flip-flop to the left side on the Go3 is just the USB Type-C charging port with this integrated loop right here. And on the Go4, you can see that's where they put the power button, the Bluetooth pairing button, the Auracast pairing button, and the LED status light indicator. So I'm not really sure why they flip-flopped these controls here, but it took me a little bit of time to get used to because I'm so used to the power button being on the one side of the Go3. So every time I pick up the Go4, I keep trying to press the power button over here, but now it's on the opposite side. I'll get used to it in no time, but it's just weird that they changed and reversed those controls. They also flip-flopped the side of the integrated lanyard loop right here. And on the Go3, it was more of a shoelace style, more of a round lanyard loop right there, as opposed to the new JBL Go4's flat design. And they also moved it to the upper right-hand corner of the JBL Go4 as opposed to the upper left-hand corner, but moved down a little bit on the Go3. This isn't a big deal for me, but I just thought I should mention it. And another big change is right here on the back side. So I showed you at the beginning of this video the problem the Go3 had because of this smooth bottom to it. It's not really a rubber piece. It's more of a plastic rubber. I'm not really sure what this material is, but is very slick. And anytime you laid the JBL Go3 on his back and had the volume up, this thing would dance around and sometimes even dance itself right off your table. And on the JBL Go4, I'm happy to say that they definitely fixed that problem here. You can see it's just two strips now as opposed to this flat surface. And it's no longer this very slick material. This is the same rubberized silicone as we see across the whole body here. So when you're playing the speaker on his back, it has much more grip to it. So if you have that volume all the way up, it's not going to dance around. So that is a huge improvement here. Also, another huge improvement is the fact that it supports the JBL Portable app. So once you turn the speaker on, it's going to have the same noise. There we go. Just go to the JBL app and it should find the speaker in no time as long as it's paired to your phone.
11 minutes later.
And there we go. So one thing I really like about the JBL Portable app is just one page, so it's very simple to navigate. You can see what speaker is connected, the battery life, the equalizer settings right here, and it does have a few different settings, but one thing I really like is this custom setting right here. So once you tap the edit button, you can see it has a 5-band equalizer, and this is where the JBL Go4 really shines over the previous Go3. Because once you get in here and fine-tune that sound, it makes the speaker sound amazing. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to leave it with the JBL signature right there. You also have access to the Play Boost button. So once you turn that on, you get about 2 more hours of battery life with the Go4. And I'm going to tell you guys right now what that does is basically suck all the bass out of your speaker to help get you those extra 2 hours of playtime. It still sounds pretty good, but just so you know, it's going to have 0 bass in your speaker. So I like to turn that off. The next category down is your stereo grouping. So if you have another JBL Go4, you can pair them together and get some nice stereo sound out of it. And then on the very bottom, you have your product information where you can reset your device, upgrade the firmware, and all that good stuff. In fact, the very first thing you should do when turning on the speaker is pairing it to the JBL Portable app and upgrading that firmware. So now let's go over the buttons on the very top here. So you have your standard volume up and volume down buttons and your play pause button right dead center. Tap it once to play, tap it again to pause, double press to skip forward, and the Go4 now has a track back feature if you triple click that play button. That is something the Go3 never had, so I'm glad to see that they added a track back feature right on the speaker. So that's all pretty self-explanatory. The USB Type-C charging port, pretty self-explanatory. Power button is a 1 press on and 1 press off operation. Now, I'm a fan of the 1 press on, but I'm never a fan of the 1 press off because this is a portable speaker and it's meant to be held. So if I'm walking around with this and just accidentally tap that button, it's going to turn off my music. And I don't really like that too much. So it should be a 1 press on and a double press to turn it off. And if not a double press to turn it off, a press and hold to turn it off. But this 1 press off, don't like it. The next button from that is your Bluetooth button. Just tap it once. It starts to locate anything trying to pair to it. And then you have your Auracast button, tap that, and the JBL Go4 will try to connect to any other JBL speaker that has Auracast. And then your LED status light indicator right there. And other than that, that's what you get here. And I should mention the JBL Go4 does not have a mic. Just like the JBL Go3, you can't take phone calls if you get a phone call while playing music through your phone. So just keep that in mind when buying the Go4. There is no microphone here. All right, now it's time for the sound test, and I will be comparing it side by side with the previous Go3. If you guys saw my review on the Go3, you're gonna know that this was previously my favorite micro portable speaker. Yes, I did just say my previous favorite. That just gives you a nice idea of my feelings towards the brand new Go4. The sound that comes out of this little speaker is amazing. It only has a 1.75-inch driver, but you would never know it, honestly. When I first heard the Go3, it blew me away, and that's basically the same reaction I had when I heard the Go4. And unfortunately, you're not going to have the same experience listening to the speaker through my camera and through this video. So I like to say this is more of a sound example as opposed to a sound test. It'll just give you a nice example of the sound that comes out of this, but to truly experience it, you just have to pick one of these bad boys up and trust what I'm saying. So that's enough talk here. I'm going to play a bunch of different sound examples for a few seconds, and then I'll compare these two side by side, and then hopefully you can make up your own mind here. Let's go. hopefully you guys can hear the differences between the Go4 and the Go3 like I could listening to it right here in front of me. As I said, the sound that comes out of the Go4 is absolutely phenomenal for only having a 1.75-inch driver. The sound is crystal clear, which always blows me away with tiny micro portable speakers such as the Go4, because it only has so much body to work with here. So being able to get that type of sound out of this small body is very, very impressive. Very much like the Go3, the mids and the highs are extremely clear. When listening to rock music, the vocals, the cymbals, the drums, the guitar, all sound very, very clear here. But the bass is what's really impressive about the Go4. Even better than the Go3. I raved about the lows on the Go3, but they actually improved them here with the Go4. In my review of the Go3, I said that the lows were so good that it didn't overcome the mids or the highs, and you get that same experience here, where you can clearly hear the bass, but it doesn't try to take over any of the other instruments, which is very impressive. Even at 100%, you're not getting that muddy, jumbled sound that you normally hear with these small speakers. Everything sounds crystal clear and coherent, so I really like that. And to take it to that next level, you can actually pair two of these together, or go into the JBL Portable app and you have a 5-band equalizer to pinpoint the exact sound that you want. So if you want to bring down those highs and jack up that bass a little bit more, you can do that here. That's one thing I always wanted with the JBL Go3, and they finally gave it to me with the Go4. Very impressive. Now, volume-wise, they pretty much sounded exactly the same to my ears, which makes sense because they both have an output power of 4.2 watt RMS. So regarding how loud both of these speakers were, they're pretty much a tie, but the clarity of the JBL Go4 is where this really, really shines. Better sound, the ability to pair this with the JBL Portable app, the ability to use Auracast, the upgraded Bluetooth 5.3, the upgraded aesthetics. I think the JBL Go4 is a winner and my new favorite micro portable Bluetooth speaker. Now, I've seen other people that said that they picked this up for about 40 bucks. I bought this for $49.95 right through Amazon, so about 50 bucks. And I know I paid about 40 bucks for the Go3, but right now on the same website, it's going for the exact same price. So they must have jacked up the price on the Go3, but if you're looking at both of these side by side and you're deciding which one to go with, it's a no-brainer. You go with the Go4. I have seen the Go3 go for about 38 bucks online if you search around, but brand new, this is going for about $49.95. That's what I picked it up for. I'll put a link down in my description box if you guys want to check this out for yourself, and I highly suggest you do. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the JBL Go4? Like I said, I will have links down below in my description box if you want to check it out for yourself. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I apologize for the Band-Aid. I'm sure you guys have been looking at it the whole video. I bought a grill today, and I was assembling it and cut myself, like always. And go!